Welcome to the American Free Thinker. Today's topic, wealth inequality. Yet again, another topic that is fake. It's a fake argument. It's not real. It's just another way to separate people, the rich and the poor. No different than separating people by race or religion or their belief in the immigration issue or whatever it might be. It's the Democrat Party making one group hate the other so that they can get votes. I know I keep saying that, but it is the fact. All these topics are fake arguments. It's not real. There is not a problem in this country, especially this country. Wealth inequality is something that people are convinced that if a millionaire or a billionaire continues to make more money, then it's somehow stopping someone else from making more money. I've never understood how they even come to that conclusion, since the economy and the amount of money there's not a finite amount where once it's used up nobody else can join in on the happiness. No. Just because someone is a billionaire and continues to make more money does not mean that a person just getting into the economy, let's say they graduate high school, has nothing to do with how much money they can make. I find it hilarious. I just saw that there's a kid on YouTube. He's like, I don't know, I think he's like 6, 7, 8, something like that. He's going on YouTube. He's got toys and he's playing with them, and then he's explaining what the toy is and how fun it is, the pluses and the negatives. And I think over just a couple of years he's made like $12 million off doing this. So that's a perfect example of how you just have to find that niche, find that item, if that's what you want. In my last post, I mentioned that is not actually the American dream. The American dream is just to make enough money by working hard, moving up the ladder, then getting married, having kids, and then living a good, comfortable life. That is the majority of people in this country. And what people don't understand is that you will never have wealth equality. Just as much as it's a fallacy to talk about wealth inequality as an argument, as a reason why capitalism is evil. Because you will always have people that want to strive, that want the castles and the private jets and the Mercedes-Benz, and you will always have people that just want to have a good, comfortable life. They don't want that stress that necessarily comes with having to work at building a business and finding a business, building a business and keeping a business going. They'd rather just find a niche in life and enjoy life. Work your 40 hours a week and then have fun the rest. And then you'll always have the bottom, the what they might call the poor, that don't necessarily want to do that. They don't want to work that extra hard, that walk up the ladder. And they're going to stay at that lower level of income, and actually some of them are perfectly fine with that, because then they have even less stress than what you might call the middle class. I hate labels, but in order for a discussion, you got to kind of have that middle class and lower class, the poor and the wealthy, whatever. All it is a person making that decision. Now the problem is when a person gets to that level of poor, they don't seem to have the desire to teach their children to move up the ladder. The children see their parents doing this, and this is why the welfare program is such an evil program brought on by the Democrats to continue to get votes. And it's so evil because I think a majority of human beings would actually be naturally drawn to being able to lay around and then just get money. They might not be naturally, I guess, drawn to it, but once you get it, it's so hard to leave it. And then you just get worse and worse and worse, and then your kids see that and, oh, this is great, and then they do it, and that's why you have that continuous generation after generation of people on welfare. And that's what the Democrats did to the black community. They even enforce it. They tell a woman that if you actually bring the man into the house and he's the father and he's the husband, then you're going to lose your welfare. And that is what's evil about it. So there will never be wealth equality because you have people that want different things. So I would love to hear the argument of how that's even an issue, wealth inequality. Listen, it's simple. If you want a good, decent, hard life, you want a good, decent life, one that you're proud of, one that you're happy about, there's just a couple things you have to do in life, people. One, graduate from high school. Two, do not get pregnant while you're in high school, so that way you can graduate. Don't get pregnant until you get married. And then get a job and keep that job and move up that ladder. There you go. You're successful. And it also isn't a coincidence that in America, the most successful country, most successful economy in the history of the planet, that our so-called poor have big screen TVs and cell phones and internet and cable and smoke and drink, and so they can afford that stuff. That is our poor. Now, I would love to have the people that are poor that complain about it and say, oh, it's the government's fault, or oh, it's society's fault, oh, it's evil capitalism. I would love for these people to go live in a serious third world country and see they're poor. That is poor. Okay? Our poor are wealthy compared to them. Our poor would be their middle class. So when you hear people actually complain about this fake idea and this fake argument of wealth inequality, just ask them, how is it that you think that one person being successful in their minds, the wealthy, making the money, is somehow affecting you? How is it stopping you from getting a better career, maybe going to college if you need to get move up that ladder and make more money? Or how about this? How about live within your means? The other way to live that comfortable life is you stay out of debt. Well, they don't want you to stay out of debt. They want you to be in debt so that you constantly have to work and then complain about not having money. It's just this evil circle that the so-called poor want to complain about. How about this? Instead of complaining about where you are in life, do something about it. You don't need to go and spend money on a money manager? It's very simple, people. Just use logic. Stay out of debt. Don't have credit cards. Don't even have a car payment if you can't afford one. Live in a one-bedroom apartment. Don't go buy a house unless you have cash to pay for something. If you never are in debt, then you are never really worried about eating. I find it difficult to even come up with 5 to 10 minutes worth of talking on these topics because they're so fake. So I'm going to go ahead and end it here. I think I've pretty much explained how wealth inequality is just another argument, another way for the Democrat Party to get people to be divided and hate the other side. If you are listening to this on Facebook or YouTube or Twitter, whatever I have this on, remember the key is theamericanfreethinker.podbean.com. Thank you, and hope to have you listening to me next time.